I mean, so Kotointi b'kol ha'chasodim, Shabbos Parshas Vayishlach, Chai Kislev Tovshin Chav Gimel. First, a few gulps of coffee. The mind, I think, is generally we have Claude the Fiat. We know it's other are very Vedic and practical, and then explaining the underpinnings of all of that and was sublime. I'm sure they have commentaries on this mind, this pure. Didn't see, must be. Okay, Kotointi mikol ha'chasodim mikol ha'emes. Yaakov said, it becomes small because all of the kindness, all of the truth that you have bestowed upon me. And he pleads to the Eibishter, Tzileni yadochim yadeso. Vay Rabbi Nazokye begeres hakodesh v'maschul zeh shekos v'acha b'yos mipeterberg. It explains out to Rabbi in the Geras HaKodesh, which begins with these words that he wrote after h'tshek Kyslev. What's chassadim? It's Eibishter drawing us near to him. So what needs to be the response of a yid? Is bebitl v'shiflus. Right, that that's in gender humility, bitl, shiflus, which literally means a sense of lowliness. Like we find Bavra, I am ashes, dust and ashes. And he pleaded to the Eibishter to save Sodom. So feel the closeness to the Eibishter that was by him, Yaakov, by Avram. First Avram, Paul by Bittul v'Shiflus affected his sense of what? Off of Efer, earth and ashes, dust and ashes. Kosh can be Yaakov, and certainly by Yaakov was the highest dark of the Ovis. Shahoye Pchira Ovis, it says in Medev, the choice of the Ovis. Certainly by him being the recipient of the Eibishter's chasadim, Paul of Bittul ben Nafshay affected Bittul Shazel Imrei. That's what he says. Kotointi mikol ha'chasadim. It becomes small. Shenase cotton be'einav became very small in his eyes. Machnas libi ha'chasadim, because of the great kindnesses. There he goes on to say the Alter Rebbe in Tanya. The difference between chesed, the abundance of kedusha, and where there's abundance in klipa, which is chesed Yishmael. Yishmael comes from Avraham, but he's chesed the klipa. The difference is the Arab world is very hospitality is its hallmark. Chesed. It's chesed the klipa. A guest comes to your home, you might kill him in the middle of the night, but you treat him royally. Embrace him, kissing each other. It's all chesed. It's chesed the klipa. It's all self-serving. Watch out. The long flowing robes can carry a concealed dagger. Huh?
We'll kill you with chesed.
That's it. So chesed the klipa, so when klipa gets hashpa, in other words, kol chesed gadol, the greater the chesed, gadol b'goyva v'gatzas haruach v'rechev liba. The more he gets in klipa, the more he becomes arrogant, and gatzas haruach means literally coarse spirit. V'rechev liba, in his heart's expansive, and he becomes a greater big shot. Schenking chesed the kedusha, whereas chesed the kedusha is the opposite. Peil bittul the more hashpa, the greater humility. This is the code of the Alter Rebbe's letter, the Geras, and Messiah be Geras. The Rebbe concludes and he says, and I've come now to make an announcement. He'll let you know to the chassidim. Al riboy hachasodim, the great chassidim the Eibishter did. Which the Eibishter did, and therefore he's cautioning the chassidim, the bilti roim, the vava machem, do not exalt your hearts over your brothers. A lisek alim chas v'shalom, or to whistle, literally. And he adds in brackets, like the Fidgeb explains in the Kotointi, I'm going to read it to you. That he's even coming down to Rebbe to negate a whistle of holiness. What's a whistle of holiness? Let's look at the words of the Fidgeb. It's my privilege to use my Zayt as the Kotointi. His yahrzeit was just recently. What? Huh? What? Translate. The Yiddish is, the Fidgeb's words are very evocative, very beautiful. The Alter Rebbe, so Yidden, for him, Yidden in general, and Chassidim especially, were Bavas Ein Mamash, the apple of his eye. With his Ruach HaKodesh, in addition to his Go'inus, every word by the Alter Rebbe was precise. Not only every action that he did was api halacha and zehirus and diktuk, the hidur shel, hidur lechumra, but even a word, surely his action, but even a word of the Alter Rebbe was thought and considered it should be precise and not be misconstrued in any way, on any level, unique to the wrong area. So midas that come through avodah, which is midas tovus, and if they are directed by seichel, that's the beauty of midas. Nonetheless, such a midah can have a unique, can be a source of nourishment to it, an improper midah. Not so he's saying by the Alter Rebbe, it's more than just midas through avodah. It's the Ruach HaKodesh, and so on. Every word is Ruach HaKodesh. Says the Fidgeb, when my father learned with me this Igeres HaKodesh, and when he came to the words, this is Simon Beis, the bilti roim levavam yachechem, not to exalt your heart over your brothers, like the harchev aleim peh, not to literally expand the words, not be worried on them. Just keep your mouth closed, and then lisek alim chas v'sholem, or to whistle. And he concludes hasil milahaskia b'asol niros is the Alter Rebbe. God, hasil haskia, God forbid to mention such a thing. Silence, even such a thing should escape your lips. And I'm warning you awesomely. In the quotes, they said that Rebbe, so my father said to me, explained to me, the deepest explanations in Avodah, our Siddish child, he was a child, has to transform his heart. And he explained to me what it means. In Kedusha, there's the Avodah, there is that, here's the point. There is in Kedusha the Avodah by Yigbal Libay Bedarak Hashem, and his heart was exalted in the service of God. There is his pashtus in Kedusha. There is such an avodah of expansiveness and broadness. And explained that Never Shabamis argues that this is Kedusha, being in a good frame of mind and expansive and broad, and that's Kedusha. It's explained to me. It showed me, Rahman Litzlam, how from this, such a very, very difficult avodah, and even in Kedusha, that can lead to go from descent to descent, and a person can fool oneself there very easily. And not even feel Rahman Litzlan that he's fallen and becomes Mukushindik, coarse and materialistic. Says the Friedrich Rebbe, Kuk, he's quoting his father. Look, see, and pay attention, says the Rebbe Rashab, to these words. The Alter Rebbe says, or to whistle, God forbid. Srika 5, a whistle is Srika means a whistle. In Pnimius, this is in a Kedusha way. It's the aha of Kedusha. The aha of Kedusha, which is virtuous. And on this, he says, on the aha of Kedusha, says the Alter Rebbe, Chas v'shalom. And that's not enough. And then continues, Has mila haskir shouldn't be mentioned by Zor Neira. Even the aha of Kedusha. Just reminded, it's not exactly the same thing, but the ones out of Tzemach Tzedek, one of the Gedolim Misnagdim, what's the point of learning Chassidus? It's abstraction. You don't really understand it, and Mashiach will come, will be revealed. So he said, it's like someone who's listening behind a wall to a conversation. He hears snippets of conversation, gets a word here, a word there, but doesn't really get it. Then when he's privy to conversation, aha, so that's what I heard. That there's a satisfaction, aha, so yeah, this is similar. It's Kedusha. When it comes to this, the Rabbi HaChasadim says the Alter Rebbe, Hasma lahaskir. God forbid, even the heart of Kedusha. Let's continue. When Messiah, the Alter Rebbe concludes in the Igeres, Umayt is a pasuk. In Mishlei Mayin Rach, a soft response, Meishiv Chema, it turns away anger. Chema is fury, anger. And he concludes his Alter Rebbe, Kulai v'ulai, and perhaps, Yitin Hashem b'lev achayim, Hashem will give in the hearts of their brothers, Kamayin panim upon him, that they'll respond to the love that Chassidim are showing, they'll respond back with love. Alter Rebbe's severe warnings not to express any kind of victory, God forbid, not even revenge. The Chassidim were furious, I have to tell you. More than furious, and they were explosive. So the Alter Rebbe, never mind revenge, but you can't even, not even aha, not a word, complete bittul and silence. So says the Rebbe, Kivin should get his cost for Rabbi Nazak and Achabios Mepetabo. So since the Alter Rebbe writes this, it's not pshat at a simple level. The Alter Rebbe had no choice. He had to write such a letter because it was dangerous. Chassidim were explosive. Chas v'shalom could have been terrible results, clashes, and Pasha Begashmis. So that's a historian. You would look at this letter and say, the great leader. The Chassidim were loyal followers, and he contained them, and so on. So the Rebbe no. Although that's also perhaps an element of it. But since he wrote this after coming out from Peterburg, it's not stam a letter to rein in the Chassidim, but this is a hero. This is a letter which conveys the whole union of Avodah Chassidus. Clear, right? Shall you do? It's known Sheklolos, Mice the Peterburg. The holding of what of the imprisonment resulted in being arrested. Well, Derech Maimar Azal, this is similar to what it says in the Gemara, the Yidna compared to an olive wine, just like Hazai says an olive. When it's crushed, it produces its oil. So too, Yidden, Dafka in Golos and so on. So the pressure produces the oil. So what the moshel here is meduyik, oil. Oil goes in etzem. So it is compared to water, to wine, and oil, as well as other things. That's the basic. So water is nigla, wine is medrash, kinimius, akseidus hatayra, kabbalah, and oil Chassidus is etzem. Oil is a metaphor for etzem. Oil doesn't mix with any other liquids. Etzem built in is gala. And I've suggested, I don't know if it says this anywhere, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's a different kind of oil. But the fact is that all organic matter, when it breaks down to its final destination, it cannot break down further, it becomes oil. That's the ultimate breakdown. Petroleum is the breakdown of all organic matter. Now, this is oil from an olive. I don't know if it's the same meaning, but anyway, that's in brackets. So what's the point here? That the Moishe, that the whole imprisonment brought out the Shemen. Sharoim is close in the Matan Torah. In general, it goes on Matan Torah. Movement might is. So I just said now that Shemen Beprotius goes on Chassidus. The whole Yonish Torah Chassidus is that. Explain. It's the Shemen of Torah, the essence. That's the whole kuntus. But Beifan Kloli, Torah is called oil because Beifan Kloli, Torah is atzmistic, as we looked at the previous Maimon. The Anoiche is invested in every prat of Torah. Where do we see that Torah is compared to oil? The following. Movement Maimon Azal, Befal Torah. Says, the pasuk there says, someone look it up if you don't mind. Shirin Perek Aleph, pasuk Gimel. Just read the whole pasuk. This is the end of the pasuk. Just read it, understand it better. You got it there. Perek Aleph, pasuk Gimel. Yeah. Just read it. Okay, so the aroma of your name is good, and of your oil is good. Oil goes in a person's name.
Shemen Torak.
Shemen Torak Shmecha, your name pours out like oil. Okay. Your name is you're renowned and well known.
Okay, Lamos Ahuvecha.
Alkain.
Lamos Ahuvecha.
Therefore, your love is eternal. So it says the medrash like this. So the pasuk starts off with the words what? Reach. So the pasuk starts off with the reach, the aroma of the oil is good, and then next words are shemen turak shmecha, your name pours out like oil. So the first part of the pasuk speaks about aroma, the reach, and the second talks about the oil itself. Clear? Says the medrash as follows. All that which the Ovis pre-Matan Torah did before you, that's like only an aroma, there's no substance. We post-Matan Torah, Shemen Turak Shmecha, your name pours out like oil, we have the Atzmius. That's the whole Chiddush of Matan Torah. Matan Torah, the Anoichi was Nimshach Lamata. Till there was only Giluyim. That's like Reach, the aroma which spreads from the oil, like light that spreads from the source. That was Giluyim. Atzmus Anoichi, Shemen, the oil itself, was given when Onu Shemen Turak Shmecha. That's Lashon HaMedrash, dividing the pasuk into pre-Matan Torah, post-Matan Torah. Clear? He continues. So again, so when is the oil produced? When it's squeezed. So when was the Chalal Matan Torah? That's why you can see. That's why there was before that Golos Mitzrayim. The Golos Mitzrayim was the general pressure that made Yidden the keli for what Matan Torah the Shemen. Likewise, the Alter Rebbe in Peterburg Zero Gama Shaykh Sham Leilitas Kislev, that when is a Yid produces oil, Yidden produce when crushed Litas Kislev. You do it, you discuss it with Matan Torah, the Pnimis HaTorah. So you discuss it with Matan Torah of Pnimis HaTorah, which is Shemen, the Proteus. Within Torah Gufa, it lays bare the essence of Torah. So since the Alter Rebbe writes at the top of this letter, he's saying that Alter Rebbe is saying that the content of this letter is a direct connection and a consequence of the whole Yutis Kislev, the point, the kind of kavanah, which is to bring out the Shemen. So the essence of Torah, the essence of the kavanah v'likus, it's expressed in this letter, Kotointi. Clear? Mizeh move on. Okay, we'll stop here.